which means that this is a must victory. At this precise moment, every player in the group has completed 4 matches. Dave Gilbert's top, 4 wins out of 4. Then it's Steve Maguire with 3 wins out of 4. A couple of players, Ali Carter and Anthony McGill, have 2 points, i.e. 2 wins out of 4. And then 3 players, Perry, Selby and Barry Hawkins, have just 1 point.
Foul on this. Oh, Selby.
This, of course, is a reenactment of the first Championship League Winners' Group final, when Joe Perry, who can't quite hit this red, beat Mark Selby 3-1 to become the first ever Championship League winner. Now, because he can see a ball directly here, I think he might have to change his shot choice.
Okay. Can't miss this time, Perry.
Here comes the warning from Brendan Moore, which is customary after 2 such misses. If a player, of course, misses the reds on 3 consecutive occasions, when he can see one on directly, as Perry could there, well, that's loss of frame. We saw it, actually, in the Masters last week. Ding Junhui. Well, they call that kind of shot the dreaded double kiss. It's dreaded because it can wreak havoc. But in this instance, Perry's left nothing easy. Excellent pot from Selby. Just coming off that 3-2 loss against Stephen Maguire. It was a strange old match. Really, the crux of it was that Selby missed a couple of important blues and was heavily punished for both mistakes.
Thanks. 7. Eight.
Well, in the
11.
third frame against Stephen Maguire, Perry went into the bunch to no avail, but this one is a little better result.
12.
Mind you, with the red so close to the, or should I say the cue ball so close to the side cushion, that red had to be potted.
Pink ball. 18. $19. $25. $26.
The strange thing is with Mark Selby, although he's seemingly in trouble at the moment,
33.
well, there's no seemingly about it, he is in trouble in the group. I don't think he's playing all that badly.
34.
When he won yesterday against Ali Carter 3-0, he was superb, made a couple of century breaks, and I think if he can haul himself back into the playoff reckoning, he could still be a force in the group.
$41. $42.
You would assume, though, to make those playoffs, he would have to win this match against Joe Perry and then a little later on overcome Anthony McGill.
$49. $50.
Again into the bunch, and the split isn't too kindly. With the 8-point penalty points he gained early in the frame, Selby's lead is 65. But there's still ample on for Perry to mount a counter-attack.
Mark Selby, 57.
Well, missing the red was disappointing, but at least he's floated a couple of reds towards the side cushion, which makes Perry's life a little more difficult. And he played the shot in such a way that the only red he could possibly leave was the one he went for, and that's not been left at all. Bags of experience, Joe Perry. He's one of those players who will make life difficult. He'll just keep battling away. Does, of course, have a world ranking title on his CV. The 2015 Players' Championship. Over in Thailand, he beat Mark Williams 4-3 in the final from 3-0 down. He's a very capable opponent for anyone. Selby looking anxiously, didn't want the red to run over the middle pocket. And I think from his standpoint it stopped just in time. Well, Perry's played safe and done something there that Selby wanted to do, i.e. knock a colour safe. The pink under the side cushion. And now another red goes towards the side cushion, and with every shot it seems Perry's task becomes more and more troublesome. Now this time Selby has left a red to middle. He's also left one across the top cushion. A choice for Perry.
One.
But much toil ahead.
Eight. Nine. $14.
Now does Perry have the angle on this simple red to middle to dislodge the two reds together on the side cushion? If he does, is it worth doing so? No, clearly not.
15.
Not yet anyway. Well, he tries to break them up this time and does so successfully. The only problem,
Show Perry 50.
the black didn't find the target, and now already with a 50-point lead, Selby really should wrap the frame up at this visit.
One.
The yellow was frame ball. He's now 53 in front with 51 on.
3.
One more red to make absolutely sure.
Four. Nine. $10.
Now that's similar to the blue that Selby missed in the third frame against Stephen Maguire, which cost him dear. Of course, much easier when there's no pressure, nothing riding on it.
15 and a frame.
And there was nothing riding on it there because the frame was already well and truly won. And Mark Selby gets off to the desired start. He leads Joe Perry by 1 frame to 0. The cornerstone of his success, a break of 57. I was saying before, you know, about the fact that these two met in the first ever winners group final. Perry prevailed 3-1, captured the title. I remember he was delighted to do so, and that earned him a place in what was then the old Premier League, in which he acquitted himself really well, I remember. Since then, though, so much snooker has been played in the Championship League. This is the 12th year of its existence.
Joe Perry to break.
And we're currently involved in what is the 93rd group. Group 5 this year, yeah, is the 93rd group in total. That, ladies and gentlemen, is an awful lot of best of 5 frame snooker. Of course, when we first started, you could have a draw, it was 4 frames.
One.
Really nice from Selby. Not just the pot, but also the control of the white. As I said before, he showed when beating Ali Carter 3-0 yesterday afternoon
9.
that his scoring boots could be strapped on. And although he's had a couple of deciding frame setbacks since then, you feel the other 6 players in the group would do well to pay attention to what he's doing. Not out of this yet
60.
by some way.
Seventy. $24. 25.
'Arcing the cue ball into the pack of reds. Now taking the white off the top cushion
52.
and powering into the bunch like this, I always think is the toughest way to break up the bunch, but it's worked nicely for Selby.
33.
That's one shot you can't play on an unresponsive table.
$38. 39.
Sadly, the father of Steve Davis, Bill Davis, who was such a character on the circuit for many years, has been passed away a few years now, and I always remember what he used to say to me about calling a frame too early and saying, well, this is a frame winning chance and stuff like that. And whenever I go to say it, I always think about him. What would Bill say? Well, I think in this instance, given the way the balls are
54.
and the way Selby's playing, I think Bill would forgive me for saying this really is a frame-winning chance.
55. $62. $63.
In fact, it's the black and just one more red.
$70. $71.
So the break goes to 78. 67 left. That means
78.
a possible 145 total clearance.
$79.
There's a £500 bonus for the highest break in any group, and this would set a tough target. Anything in the mid-140s always does.
$86. $87.
Those who describe Mark Selby as a slow player are barking up a ridiculous tree. Of course he's not slow.
95.
When he gets tense and the balls run awkwardly, of course he plays tactical snooker and thinks what he's doing, as you should do as a great champion. But when he's in amongst the balls, he's fluent. And there, he's made yet another century.
Thanks. 103. $110. $111.
So this will be his second blue of the break. 15 reds, 2 blues, 13 blacks, and now hopefully the colours for a 143 total clearance.
116. $118. 121. $125.
What a beautiful break this has been.
$130.
Nothing outlandish, just efficiency. And that one tremendous shot when he arced the cue ball off the top cushion into the bunch to break them up.
$136. $143.
Total clearance, total quality. No applause, of course, rather eerily because there are no spectators here. But, nevertheless, it deserved applause. A 143 break, the highest of Group 5 so far. And with that, added to his 57 break in the first frame, Mark Selby has taken a 2-0 lead over Joe Perry. One thing you always hear people say when they watch professional snooker, either live at a venue or on TV, or indeed online, they always say the professionals make it look so easy. And that is very true. If you've ever played snooker, you know how tough it is. For most, a total clearance is a pipe dream. And yet for these guys, it's a regular occurrence. And there, Selby made it look as though it was quite routine.
Third frame. Mark Selby to break.
So can Selby kick on and maybe win 3-0? If he did so, his chances of making the playoffs would be reinvigorated, but Perry would be in a very deep hole indeed. And the one problem for Perry, apart from the scoreline, is that he's not had a great deal of meaningful table time. And bear in mind, of course, this is also his first match of the day, whereas this is the 8th frame in succession that Mark Selby has played on this table. In fact, if you take into consideration last night's match against Dave Gilbert, it's the 13th consecutive frame he's played on this table, but 8 in this session. Far too thin from Perry. In and out of baulk. Mid-range red left. But with no positional future off that red, Selby realises that the value shot, and he's the king of that, gaining value. The value shot is the safety he's just played.
Foul. Yes. Mark Selby 6.
Well, thankfully for Brendan Moore, only the pink moved there, and it was on its spot anyway.
Foul. Miss.
Didn't quite make the journey. That was maybe less than a millimetre away from the red. Unbelievable. So 10 points gifted to Selby. I'm sure that Perry will make contact this time.
Foul.
Well, can you believe he doesn't?
Selby.
And what's more, he's left Mark Selby absolutely plumb in.
One. Eight.
After this, Selby's next assignment is the German Masters over at the Tempodrome in Berlin, one of the great venues in snooker. The weekend there, they get over 2,000 people in. It's a wonderful atmosphere.
Nine.
Selby qualified comfortably before Christmas. And he would love to go to the German capital with the confidence gained from a good performance here, whether it be merely in this group or in the next one, here tomorrow and Thursday.
17.
The one thing you know for sure, he will not wave the white flag. Well, goes into them this time, and it doesn't really work out. Actually, had he had running side on that cue ball, it might well have just about gone into the pocket. That was avoided. He does have a red across the top cushion, theoretically, but such a tough shot. There's no way he's going to contemplate that. And with a useful 36-point lead and already 2-0 ahead, why not bide your time? In fact, doing more than that, that's one of the great things with Selby. When he runs out of position on a break, he doesn't allow his frustration or his disappointment to overcome him. He keeps a clear mind, and he doesn't just play any old safety shot, he plays a good one, as he has done there. Well, this time Perry makes contact, but he's left a red. Just gathering his thoughts, Selby, putting everything in place in his mind, what he wants to do. Visualising what's required.
One.
with the angle of the pot. Playing for the black was a no-go. And now it appears that Joe Perry is hurtling towards defeat. Now Brendan Moore believes the pink will spot.
7.
And we just saw that shot. It will pot into the top right-hand pocket if required. Loss of control there, mind you.
13.
Control regained. That was such a good shot with the cue ball so near the side cushion.
One. 22.
Given what happened in his first match this morning, a 3-2 defeat by Stephen Maguire, when he had chances in every single frame, for Selby to psychologically
29.
respond like this, I think underlines what a great player he is, what a great competitor. But even though he leads by 72 points, he's not over the line yet. $83 left on the table. But not now.
87.
Superb pot to effectively win frame and match. Yes, the blue left Perry requiring a snooker, and now with the addition of that red, it is going to be 3-0 for sure. Now this is the kind of shot that on TV looks very simple indeed, but with the cut of the middle pocket you have to be so careful. Just about
51.
Managed to knock it in, with running side as well, mind you, for the blue.
76.
He's in the groove here. Here's Mark Selby. That rest looks a little rickety though.
Nice.
But it will take more than a little wobble in the equipment to stop him potting. A double required to keep the break going.
64.
But if this one does find the pocket, back-to-back centuries very much on.
65. $72. 73.
Lots of deep screw and reverse side on the cue ball to get not just on the red but perfectly on it.
81.
Mark Selby now knows that his last group match against Anthony McGill could well book a semi-final place for either player if they win it.
$91.
As for Joe Perry, he's got one match left. Second on this afternoon on table one against Barry Hawkins. He must win that and then just hope things go in his favour
95.
in terms of other results.
$100.
So indeed it is successive centuries from one of snooker's modern masters. That was truly impressive. Mark Selby.